Have you ever noticed how some people slowly start treating you differently? The moment you stop needing something from them emotionally. Less approval. Less validation. Less emotional reassurance. And suddenly, the entire social dynamic changes. Because respect is often connected to emotional steadiness more than people realize, especially in emotionally tense workplaces. Most people miss this next part. Many emotionally exhausted professionals accidentally teach people how to treat them. Not through weakness, through emotional availability, constant explaining, constant emotional accommodation, constant pressure to keep everyone comfortable. And difficult people notice this quickly, because emotionally reactive people often test emotional boundaries subtly. A small interruption, a dismissive tone, a passive-aggressive joke, a moment designed to see how emotionally movable you are. And if someone can repeatedly shift your emotional state, they quietly stop respecting your boundaries internally. That's why Stoics focus so heavily on internal stability. Marcus Aurelius constantly practiced separating his inner state from outside behavior, because once your emotional state becomes controlled by every difficult interaction, your sense of self slowly becomes externally managed too. And honestly, people feel that energy. They feel when someone is emotionally centered, just like they feel when someone constantly seeks approval. That's why the Stoic habit that changes social dynamics most is not aggression, not dominance, not becoming cold. It's emotional self-containment. The ability to remain emotionally grounded without constantly reaching outward for validation, reassurance, or emotional control over the room. And manipulative people often struggle around this habit. Because emotionally grounded people become difficult to emotionally pressure, they do not rush to defend themselves. They do not emotionally chase agreement. They do not panic during awkward silence. And that calmness changes the emotional atmosphere immediately, especially around toxic personalities, because toxic people often rely on emotional imbalance. If they can make you emotionally uncertain, they gain emotional leverage. But calm people reduce that leverage simply by staying internally stable. Not perfectly. Consistently. That's what creates quiet authority. And over time, people begin responding differently to you, not because you demanded respect, because your emotional behavior stops signaling emotional dependency. That changes conversations, workplace tension, even the way difficult people approach you. Because emotionally steady people feel psychologically harder to move. And honestly, that's what many emotionally exhausted people are actually searching for. Not control over others, control over their own emotional state. So the next time someone tries to create subtle emotional pressure around you, pause before reacting automatically. Notice the urge to emotionally explain, fix, or soften the moment. Then stay grounded. Because one of the strongest Stoic habits is learning how to remain emotionally centered, even when someone else is trying to pull you out of it.